Hey there, I see you guys are just hopping on. Welcome to Thought Snob Live on TikTok. I'm Paula Swope, and we're going to be talking today about how to handle those people that we don't like. That is always a good topic because, hey, it's just a fact. We can't like everybody. It's not even humanly possible, but how in the hell do we deal with those people? So welcome. Thank you for being here. This is Thought Snob Live, my little show that airs weekly on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. exclusively on TikTok. That band sure didn't last long, huh? I was ready to take this show to Instagram. Been watching you for a while now, and thank you. You're amazing. Oh, well, thank you. Marielle, is that how you pronounce your name? So as you guys join, I would love it if you would tap that screen. That way TikTok will push this out if you just keep liking it so people can join and spread the word. I've got some good stuff for you today. Boldly Be You just got the #1 gift badge. Woo, thank you so much. All right, so I'm Paula Swope, and this is Thought Snob Live, my show that comes on Wednesdays on TikTok at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I always talk about non-traditional topics and out of the ordinary ways of being. Everything I talk about is out of the norm. And today, the topic is handling people we don't like. Thank you. That's so sweet. They're saying you're so pretty. Thank you. I'm 48 years old, so looking good is a full-time job. I say that all the time. A lot of things get easier as we age, but keeping up the physical appearance isn't one of them. All right, so, well, hey there from NYC. I'm in Prospect, Kentucky. I love New York City. It might be my favorite city in the world. Yay, I need this today. Just got done grounding. Perfect. Going to talk about those people we don't like and how to handle them. So you guys can chime in with questions. I'm just going to kind of kick off and talk to you for a second about how this topic, well, hey there, Tennessee. We're close. I'm in Kentucky. I just want to kick off by letting you know why this topic of how to handle people we don't like, how that's related to Thought Snob. This is my book. It debuted back in August. If you don't have a copy, I would love for you to check it out. It's available on Amazon. Thought Snob, the modern spiritual playbook for a better life. Snob stands for See New Objective Beliefs. And Snob is a method that I created to help people feel good. And in order to feel good, you got to choose better. If you want to feel better, you got to choose better. And See New Objective Beliefs is just a fancy way of saying, look at the facts. And this is a simple yet highly effective technique to teach you how to approach life with mindful awareness and emotional intelligence. And I'm telling you, when you can get that down pat, there's nothing that you can't have. There's nothing you can't accomplish. When you can get control of your emotions, you can rule the world. I say that all the time. And when you're dealing with people, this is really, really important. Now, throughout this book, I have scattered personal stories about how, and I was very vulnerable about telling these stories, about what happened to me because I chose to associate with toxic people and people who didn't give a shit about me. I chose to be around those people because subconsciously I did not believe that I could do any better. Well, thank you. I love how you teach. Thank you so much. When I decided that I was better than all of that, and I started to choose better, and I started living a better life, a life that empowered me versus disempowered me, those people that treated me like shit either fell off like flies or they really, really regretted treating me poorly. And I walked away and I never looked back. And I just want to clarify that because I'm not standing here in a place of judgment of who you associate with or why you do it. I'm here to inform you about the dangers of being around people that you dislike or that treat you poorly day in and day out. I'm here to inform you about how risky of a position that puts you in, because you will attract more of what you don't want when you settle for being around those people, okay? All right, so I want to read you just a quick excerpt. I love that. It's hard to walk away from your dearest one sometimes. It is one of the hardest things in the world. It absolutely is, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary. And a lot of people will stick around family members because they feel like they're obligated to stick around those family members. And then the family members that are toxic and treat you poorly feel like they are entitled to treat you that way because they're your family. It can get real sticky with family members, but the same rules apply to them as anybody else. And I have walked away from a lot of family members, and it was it was a decision I had to make. If I wanted a better life, I had to do it. I had to do it. They were a source of drama and stress and pain and suffering, and I got to the point that I stopped choosing pain and suffering, and I chose peace and prosperity instead. And when you get a taste of that, peace and prosperity, whoo, you can't go back. You can never go back to toxic bullshit, okay? All right, I want to read you just a quick excerpt. It's just a few sentences from chapter 3 of my book. Data show that associating with toxic people and staying in relationships that make you unhappy and cause stress are as toxic to your health as fast food or hazardous waste. A negative relationship puts you at a higher risk of developing heart problems, such as a fatal heart attack, than those in healthy relationships. That's something else, right? So there's an even bigger picture here than just disliking someone or allowing someone to treat you like you're lesser than. I mean, anybody that makes you feel poorly, you want to find a way to get away from them. You want to keep them at a distance or find a way to just get away from them completely. And so what should you do when you have to frequently be around someone you don't like? Hang on. Flower Power, can you read that again? Yes, I sure will. Yeah. So she's asking me to read the excerpt I just read from chapter 3 of my book. Data show that associating with toxic people and staying in relationships that make you unhappy and cause stress are as toxic to your health as fast food or hazardous waste. A negative relationship puts you at a higher risk of developing heart problems, such as a fatal heart attack, than those in healthy relationships. Serious business. That makes sense. Apparently, women develop autoimmune diseases because of suppressed emotions. I talk about that in my book. I developed a rare bladder condition. I talk about this in the book, called interstitial cystitis. It's commonly referred to as IC. And it's a rare, misunderstood condition. You know, the doctors will tell you there's no cure for it. I was diagnosed several years ago. I started having urinary issues, and I was like 18 for no apparent reason. Well, now I know. After I've studied the research, I know why I developed IC. It was because of abusive relationships. Women are at a higher risk for developing things like IC, autoimmune diseases, because of staying in abusive relationships for long periods of time. The first 30 years of my life, it was one abusive person after another. You are going to manifest physical illnesses if those emotions are not dealt with and processed, and you've got to get away from it. You can't heal where you're broken. You've got to get the fuck away from it, or it will destroy you. Whew, I get real fired up about this. That's why I talk about it so much. Now, I am asymptomatic from IC, just so you know. And I talk about that in the book too. It's been a long, hard journey, but hey, it's all good now, thank God. All right, so What should a person do if they have to be around someone frequently that they strongly dislike? Vanessa, you got to hang in there with me today. She says, I have only had abusive relationships. You need to check out my book. It's available on Amazon. If you don't want to spend any money, that's okay. Listen to my podcast. It doesn't cost you 1 penny to listen to my podcast, the Thought Snob podcast. A lot of resources. I've created a lot of resources for people like you because I used to be you. I know exactly what's going on, okay? All right, so what should you do if you have to frequently be around somebody that you don't like? Hey there, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. 111, baby. Shannon, hey, Paul, I can't wait to try the breath work you recently posted. Oh, yeah. You got to try that. It's good stuff. Adriana says, we are the source, we are the divine. It's funny you say that because I'm telling you, that's in my notes. That's a topic I'm about to cover today. It's in my notes. All right, so I just want to let you know right off the bat, when you're trying to handle, hey, Phoenix, I'm glad you're here too. Hey. When you're trying to navigate a situation with someone that you don't like, first, I want to make sure that you understand that it's okay not to like someone. I don't care if they are the most popular human being on the planet in your workplace or at your church or your country club or your AA meeting or in your family or whatever the case may be. You don't have to like them. If you don't like them, then you don't like them. Don't feel guilty about not liking someone. You can not like someone and still love everybody. And I'll get to that in a minute. Just don't ever feel guilty about disliking someone. Give yourself permission to not like everybody. My snob method, seeing to objective beliefs, is about looking at the facts. And the facts are, it is not even humanly possible to like everybody because we're all different. Not everybody is an energetic match for us. We have to choose our people, okay? Vanessa, I'm just surviving. Okay, hang in there. Hang in there with me today. You might get some information that benefits you greatly, all right? So the second thing, the third thing that I want to go over are intertwined. Approach these relationships or these situations with mindful awareness and emotional intelligence. I'm going to give you a whole new way, possibly. I don't know what you do or what you don't do, but most people don't view people they dislike from this standpoint. But I'm telling you, it is the most empowering way to approach these people. So here we go. I want you to keep in mind that not everybody is all good and not everybody is all bad. Peach Dream 888, I'm getting in on that right now. They're asking, what are your tips for better mindfulness? I'm getting into it right now. Keep in mind, not everybody's all good, not everybody's all bad. Did you guys ever watch the show Dexter? The serial killer, about the serial killer? Okay. Dexter was a serial killer. And I'm just using his character to demonstrate where I'm coming from with this exercise in mindfulness. Yeah, he was a serial killer, but he also extended kindness to a lot of people. All right? Not all good, not all bad. A good person can make a really bad decision that leads to doing a bad thing, but it doesn't necessarily define them, okay? You have to choose if someone is good for you or bad for you. We're all different, and different doesn't necessarily mean bad, okay? So just keep that in mind. And then I want you to ask yourself if you've ever been guilty of some of their behaviors. Someone's asking, oh, Fawn, what's Chopra? Have you heard of Deepak Chopra, Dr. Deepak Chopra? He's like possibly the most famous spiritual guru in the world right now would think is probably Detox, the most famous one. But he has a school called the Chopra Center. It's an accredited institution, and I spent almost 3 years there studying under Deepak and his colleagues, and that's where my certifications for this work come from. Okay, Lily, until he got commercial with Oprah, well, you know, I don't know if what I'm hearing about Oprah is true. I have no idea. I just know that they have benefited a lot of people. Deepak, both of them, they work together. All these people work together. And I just tried to focus on how much they have benefited my life and move on from there. If she's guilty of everything that people say she is, she's going to pay the price. And it is out of my control. Ain't nothing I can do about it. But I can't judge a man like Deepak Chopra, who I know is legit, because he was on her show a time or two. I just can't. So that's my take on that. But I understand how you feel. I'm not discounting how you feel. You got to choose what's right for you, okay? All right, so back to the topic at hand. Another way to deal with people that you don't like is to do your own little version of shadow work. Like, self-reflection will take you far, okay? Ask yourself, if you've ever been guilty of certain behaviors that you know, this person that you dislike, that you see in them, are you guilty of that? Like, let's say you're around to someone that lies to you a lot. Now, that's not okay, and it should never be condoned. But have you ever been guilty of lying? You know, ask yourself those questions. Adriana, you know, whatever is around you is the reflection of you. I think that that is absolutely true in some situations. In some situations. Do you believe that every person is a version of you? I do not. I do not. I absolutely do not. The first 30 years of my life, everybody in my life was an absolute mirror. They were an absolute reflection of me. Without a doubt, I am the person who created all of it. I chose to be around those people because they matched my energy at that time. And my energy was in a low vibe. It was at a low frequency. So that's who I was around at that point. But when I did the inner work and I cleaned up my energy field, the people around me, they changed. And they were higher quality people that had my best interest at heart. I think that everybody is not necessarily a reflection of you, though. I think that some people show up to teach us lessons. I really do. I think some people show up to be some of our greatest teachers. And I don't think every situation is black and white either. In this day and time, if I encounter a disrespectful person or something, that is definitely not a reflection of who I am. So I'm thinking there must be another reason for what's going on. And what am I supposed to learn here? So I just don't think that it is always so black and white. There's always a gray area. Okay, so back to what I was saying about doing your own version of shadow work. Let's say you're around somebody. Maybe you got an annoying coworker that you got to share an office space with or something. And they're always making passive-aggressive comments to you. Instead of reacting and giving them what they want, then ask yourself, have I ever done that? Have I ever made passive-aggressive comments? So do a little self-exploration and go within, and you will be way less likely to react, let these people get under your skin. And the ultimate goal is to go about life with mindful awareness and emotional intelligence to the point that you get so damn good at it that nobody has the power to ruin your day or make your day. You're even, you're happy, you're calm, no matter what any person says or does. I understand there are situations where there's tragedy and you lose people that you love. I mean, yeah, those situations, you're going to be upset, and that's human and that's normal, and you should be. I'm talking about day-to-day stuff here, that if you don't get a handle on it and stop it in its tracks, it causes you to be under chronic stress. And chronic stress is not good for you, because if it isn't released, interrupted, it's going to turn into inflammation. Inflammation is at the root cause of nearly every disease known to man. You're going to hear me say that a lot. And if it's not released, the inflammation is not released and alleviated, then it will turn into physical sickness, which goes back to what I was saying earlier when I was reading that excerpt from my book from chapter 3. Fawn, respond with, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about when I said you'll be less likely to react? Is that what you mean? Because if it is, why don't you just think about any time that someone said something and you didn't like it and you got offended and lost control of your emotions, and then you did something that led to something else that caused you problems. That's what I mean by reacting. Because, hey, a lot of our day-to-day happiness and overall peace and joy, a lot of that depends on how we react to situations. Okay? Hard when you get good at not reacting, but slip up one day, it feels like all the work goes to waste. Oh my God, no, that just means you're human. That just means you're human. Just because you slip up, hey, just be aware that you slipped up, and you'll be less likely to do it the next day or the next time. We're all gonna slip up. I slip up all the time. Jamie Jocelyn King, you did so good on your book. I love it. Oh, thank you. Adriana, oh my God, Polly, you'd be one badass grandma. I gotta know, how old do you think I am? I'm 48 years old. I don't know that I'm old enough to be anybody's grandma yet. So thank you, the compliment on my book. This is it, Thought Snob, the modern spiritual playbook for a better life. It's available on Amazon in 3 formats. I'd love for you to get a copy if you haven't. Lily Cohen's right here, Amazon. Available in 3 formats, paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. Everybody loves the audiobook, and it actually contains 6 bonus stories that aren't in the paperback or the Kindle. And those bonus stories are pretty good. Jamie Jocelyn King, but who's your, my aesthetics clinic. I can't think of the new name of it. I'm very open about this. I don't give a damn to tell you that my whole face is full of stuff. I facials, all of it. I do all of it. I started at 30 years old. It used to be Tina Carroll Aesthetics in Prospect, Kentucky, but she sold the place to a new business, and I cannot think of the name of it. Adriana, have you ever read any Dolores Cannon? Oh, God, yeah, I love Dolores Cannon. Oh, yeah, that woman was a genius. Okay, so the next thing I want you to keep in mind when you're dealing with people that you don't like, if you can't completely cut these people out or just really keep them at a distance, I want you to keep this in mind. View everybody, all of us, we're all from the same source. And when you start to see yourself as separate from another person, then you are going to be less likely to condemn them just because you don't like them, okay? So when you think about all of us being from the same source, because we are, the sinners and the saints, we're all from the same source. Think of our source as you look at the ocean. You know, the ocean's this big, ginormous source, okay? And within the ocean, there are little ripples and, waves, and no 2 waves are the same. They're like snowflakes. No 2 waves are the same. So view the ocean as our source, but those waves as our individual souls and personalities. Now, how could a wave, just because it's different, be wrong? Just think about it from that standpoint. All from the same source. Different, but not wrong. And when you see someone that you don't like, as being from the same source as you, you'll realize that fighting with them is as useless as fighting with your own hands. Okay? It's a waste of energy. And you'll also be more likely to handle them with compassion and empathy than judgment and criticism. And this applies in those situations even when you don't realize that you don't realize why you dislike someone. Have you all ever disliked someone for no apparent reason? Sounds like what Abraham Hicks talks about. Love her stuff too. Oh yeah. Esther Hicks and Abraham. Oh my God, that's incredible, right? Lily, I completely ignore them. It drives them nuts. Hey, ignoring's all right. You're not hurting anybody by ignoring. I switched timelines last week. My cat had a tail and then it was gone. I literally have photos of it. I've never disliked someone for no reason. Okay. I want to prelude what I'm about to say here with this statement. If you dislike someone just based on a judgment or stereotype, you probably need to look in the mirror. Okay? But if you encounter a person and you immediately get a bad vibe, or your energy just drops, or you don't feel right, or you can't be yourself, and it comes on suddenly when they walk in the room, or you lay eyes on them, or whatever the situation may be, view that as a fact. That's your intuition talking to you. See, God communicates with us in ways that we sometimes don't realize. It's not like it's audible. I mean, I've heard people say they got messages from the divine that were audible. Usually, it comes in different forms. The divine will, it's that intuitive sense that you get. It's that gut feeling. Do not ignore that. Do not second guess that. If you get a bad vibe about somebody, honor it. That can be a warning. So, when I encounter somebody that I just don't like them, I'm not judging them as being bad or good. I'm making an observation that they are not good for me. This has impact. I've been clinically diagnosed as an empath. Yeah, I haven't been clinically diagnosed as an empath, but I absolutely am. There's no doubt about that. Anytime I have went against my intuition, dealing with people, I've paid the price. And I'll tell you something else I've noticed about myself. Hey there, Martina. Martina knows this. She knows this. She speaks this language. I'll tell you something I've noticed, and I've just started to make sense of it and just realized what it was, but I will get like oddly quiet around people that I don't need to be around. Jessica Parker, amen. This new moon energy is amazing to step into that intuition. I would love to know more about that. I swear I would love to know more about that. Drop anything in the comments you want us to know about that. I'd love to know more. I've been just kind of dabbling with how to use like the new moon energies, and I'm a total rookie. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of moving along as I go. Oh, but I want to show you all this. Speaking of that, because I bought this new crystal the other day, and I was told that I needed to charge it at the full moon. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I love this. I've been meditating with it. It's amethyst crystal. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I'm just now kind of learning about crystals too. But I love this thing. All right, good energy here, and that's what we need. Okay, so, but yeah, so that's why I wanted to talk about if you ever encounter somebody and you just don't like them, you get a bad vibe. There's something to that. Just don't ignore it. Okay. This has impact. Gorgeous. Wow, that earth just makes those jewels. Oh, I know. It's crazy, right? Like everything we need is already here. It's like right there, the earth. How to handle a negative mother-in-law. Well, these techniques that I'm talking about are definitely applicable to a negative mother-in-law, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is when you might be undecided about how you feel about someone and how you might bring clarity to a situation like that. I encourage you to use my SNOB method, and I'm teaching straight from the book right now, see new objective beliefs and weigh the facts. If you're on the fence about someone, they probably aren't the right energetic match for you, or you wouldn't be on the fence. Okay? So keep that in mind. But in these situations, this right here is life-changing. Where did I get the crystal? Hang on, I've actually got her business card right here. The Louisville Rock Shop at the Melwood Art Center. And it's this lovely lady named Jill Barnes Mercado. Louisville Rock Shop. And her website is louisvillerockshop.com. And she has so many cool crystals in her store. And she does energy healing too. And I am going to go see her at some point. This has impact. Ooh, I've been meaning to get out there and see what studios are there at Melwood. I am thinking about setting up a store at Melwood. I'm going to go actually look at some studio spaces tomorrow. No joke. I'm thinking about setting up shop there. I feel like it's time that I get a bricks and mortar instead of the virtual. I'm ready to get out there. I've been building this business for a long time, and I'm ready to branch out. All right, so if you're undecided about how you feel about somebody, here is something that you can do to bring some clarity to that situation. All right, this is really important. I want you to pay close attention to how you feel when you're around this person, when you're in their presence, and after you leave their presence. Do you feel good and energized? Or do you feel irritated and drained? Pay attention to that. Here's another thing I want to mention. Jealousy. Whoo! You can't associate closely with anybody that's jealous of you. And if you feel yourself being jealous of somebody else, and I used to be a very jealous person, it's a misdirected emotion. Jealousy is, in my opinion, the most misdirected emotion. If you're jealous of somebody, why are you jealous of them? It's because they have something that you want, and maybe you feel like you can't get it. Well, when you view that person as being from the same source as you realize you're on equal playing ground. You're from the same source. So if they get that thing you want so badly, you can too. So why not use them as a mentor? They could be one of your greatest teachers. You don't have to like them, but you can watch them and you can learn. Okay? Jealousy is interchangeable with hate. It will eat you alive if you don't get a handle on it. If you don't get a handle on it, it'll get a handle on you. Jealousy is a low vibe emotion, and it can attract in some pretty nasty things that you don't want. But if you can look at it for what it really is, then you can channel it to serve you in a good way. Okay? Because again, if you don't get a handle on it, it'll get a handle on you. So I have one more thing I want to go over, and then I can take questions if you like, okay? So the last one, as long as you give a jealous person access to your life, a monitoring spirit works on their behalf. What do you mean by that? I'm not sure I understand what you mean, and I'm intrigued. There's Sarah Beth. Hey, Sarah Beth. Thank you. I ordered your book. Looking forward to reading it. Wonderful. Are you from Louisville, Kentucky? I'm not from Keegan. I'm not from here. I moved here in 2015. I'm actually from the eastern part of the state. I grew up in Madison County. My family's from Jackson County. Sarah Beth, I can't wait to see you again. Jeez. We got to catch up. I've had so much going on it'll make your head spin, but I'm sure you're in the same boat. Okay, so there is a spirit that will monitor your life. That spirit will work through them to keep tabs and project jealous thoughts your way. Okay, I get that. I totally get that. Makes sense. It's all about energy, right? I mean, it's all about energy. Whatever we put out there, we get back. That's just the way it is. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to cover is how to end relationships with people without it being like heated and super awkward. So it's like, how do you sever ties with people peacefully? I guess that'd be a good way to word it. So unfortunately, usually, if you get to the point that you want to sever ties with someone, it's because there has been an extended period of time where you've just been treated poorly and you're freaking sick of it, right? So my answer to this question might surprise you because it is way out of the norm, like way out of the norm. Envisioning. That's how you should approach this problem. I have solved so many problems with envisioning, and the efficacy of visualization is well documented in the scholarly literature. Brain studies show that thoughts produce the same mental instructions as actions. So if you don't know what to do, then don't do anything and take it up here. Take it up here, all right? Visualizing your life without this person in it is a powerful action to take to eliminate them from your life, because you shift your focus onto what you want. You shift your focus onto a happier, healthier relationship and what your life's going to be like without this person in it. And when you start focusing on that sort of thing, you don't necessarily have to worry about how to sever the ties. Let the universe handle the dirty work for you. Seriously. If you go into some heated conversation with the wrong person, like in a really abusive, toxic person that don't give a damn about you and your well-being, you could put yourself in a really dangerous situation, and you don't have to do that. I understand. All relationships are different. If you're under the same roof with an abusive person, you're going to have to be very careful about getting out of that relationship if they don't want you to go. Envisioning, that's the way to go. Envision what you want to happen, and envision your life without that person in it. And envision your life with a person that treats you well. And decide what you want before you go into those envisioning sessions. A best practice is to envision what you want like 15 minutes a day. And I have created so many guided visualizations that you can use and experiment with. They're free, don't cost you a penny. They're on my website at paulaswope.com. They're on my YouTube channel. My name on YouTube is at Paula Swope. But all the links to all this stuff is in my link tree here on my profile on TikTok. So I'm easy to find. I actually created a guided visualization to help you eliminate a specific person from your life. I'm not joking. It's on YouTube. And it works, but you got to use it. You got to use it. You can't just do it one time. You got to do it every day. It's like the repetition of the visualizations have cumulative effects. And that's when you reap benefits and your life starts to change. Because the more you visualize something, the more you believe that you have it. Okay? And you start to, build momentum around having something that you don't, technically have. You start to feel excited about it. And that's how you get your manifestations to take hold. So not only was all that I went over about dealing with people that you don't like, all of that was about mindful awareness and emotional intelligence, but it also circles around to manifestation. Because the quality of your your consistent emotions, thoughts, actions, words, that's what creates your physical reality. And if you've got a bunch of people around you that you don't like, well, you're not going to feel well. So you're not going to attract the good stuff. I just visited your YouTube. It says you have no content. It must be on the wrong page. I have tons of content on YouTube. My podcast is on YouTube as well, the Thought Snob podcast. The link to my YouTube channel is in my link tree here on my profile. And if you go to YouTube, here I got my computer right in front of me. Go to YouTube. Oh, what in the world? You ever notice every time you want to like use a piece of technology and you got an audience, the shit don't work? It drives me nuts. You can go to my website too, paulaswope.com. That'll take you to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing you that. I'll check into it. But let's see. I'm right here looking at my YouTube channel at Paula Swope, and yeah, I'm right there. I'm looking at it. Yeah, 159 videos are on my channel. So maybe just go to YouTube and put my name in and find me that way. And then I'll check if there's something wrong with that link in my link tree. I'll check it out. But it should work. I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm easy to find. paulaswope.com. That's a one-stop shop. You can find everything you need there. All right, so I've got 10 more minutes or so I can spend with you all. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want to talk about. I saw some questions flying around as I was talking. I don't always catch them. Huh. Just checked also no content from your link tree. That's so weird. Well, maybe something's broken. Some things on TikTok have been acting a little strange since the ban. So I'll check that once we close out. And if it's something I need to fix, I'll fix it. But just go to YouTube, at Paula Swope is my name on there. I'm looking at it, 159 videos. Says this is the official YouTube channel of self-help influencer Paula Swope. Okay. Anything you want to talk about handling people that you don't like? Martina, I just used your 15-minute meditation yesterday. You know, that's still everybody's favorite meditation. And I swear I recorded that before I had the fancy studio and all the sound equipment and all that stuff. And I did it off the fly. And it is still everybody's favorite meditation. B, thank you. Good day, Paula. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm catching this late, but how do you deal with people that you don't like? Well, Tony, I have been running my mouth for about 45 minutes. So it'd be hard to go over all of it again, but I will post this on my YouTube channel as soon as TikTok makes the video available. I post my TikTok lives on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is at Paula Swope. But I've been teaching straight from my book today. It's like a manual for dealing with people that you don't like and getting out of toxic relationships. If you don't have a copy, Tony, Thought Snob, The Modern Spiritual Playbook for a Better Life. It's available on Amazon and Audible. 3 formats, paperback, Kindle, audiobook. I narrate the audiobook. It's kind of funny. It's like a totally different experience than the paperback. But if you like to journal, the paperback is a really good option. Some people love the audiobook so much that they got the audiobook and then got the paperback so they can journal as they listen to the audiobook. And the audiobook has 6 bonus stories that the paperback and the Kindle don't have. And those stories are, they're pretty good. Is that you, Kathy Bird? Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you. I hope you had a great holiday. I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a long time. Thank you for looking into your link tree. Oh yeah, I will definitely check that out as soon as we hop off of here today for sure. So any questions? Any questions you want to ask me anything about what we've discussed? Or excuse me for 2 seconds. Okay. All right. There aren't any questions. I want to ask you all something real quick. So what did you guys think about that ban, that TikTok ban? Wasn't that crazy? Was off, I think offline or whatever they call it, dark or whatever, for I think 13 or 14 hours. It was on a lot quicker, went back on a lot quicker than what I anticipated. I am imagining my manifestations about 5 minutes a day. Is that good? Every hour? Any time you spend on envisioning is good. Anytime at all. Anytime is better than nothing. The key is to stay in those visions until you start to conjure up the feelings that are associated with having what it is that you want so badly. Excitement. When you start to feel excitement, when you're envisioning over something that you don't have, that's when you know you are going to get it. And when you can conjure up that excitement, you're building that momentum, and that manifestation is going to take hold. Boo, it will be with you at some point. And someone mentioned Abraham Hicks a little bit ago. Abraham Hicks is the person that introduced me to the 68-second theory about manifestation. It only takes 68 seconds for a manifestation to take hold. I also have a video about that on my YouTube channel. People are in the room are saying that my link tree's not taking them to my YouTube. I'm going to check that out as soon as we're done here. But you can search for me on YouTube at Paula Swope. My podcast is on YouTube too, the Thought Snob podcast. But I got a video on YouTube and a video actually here on TikTok too about that theory about manifestation. It only takes 68 seconds for a manifestation to take hold. 68 seconds. If you can think about nothing but what you want for 68 seconds, then that manifestation is going to take hold. Jessica Parker, I will message you about the moon cycles. Please do. Like, I want to know more about that. So any little bit of time you spend envisioning is better than nothing. It's just like meditation. Any time you spend on meditation is better than nothing. 2 minutes is better than nothing. Again, it's the repetition of those practices that produce cumulative effects. And the more you do it, better the benefits. And the quicker you'll reap the benefits too. Okay. If there's nothing else, I will sign off. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Keegan. I'm going to be honest. I have not mastered this live system. And it says you just became the number 6 person on the team. I don't know what that means. Do you all know what that means? Like, I have not researched this as much as I should, because the live options are always changing, and once I learn something, then they change it again. And I'm a busy person. I don't have time to learn, but I need to know. But I'm getting messages saying number 6 person on my team. Okay. Keegan says, me neither, girl. I just want to support this great info. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm not the only one that's clueless about how all this works. I'll figure it out one day, but the moment that I do, they'll just change it. What's the name of your book? Thought Snob, The Modern Spiritual Playbook for a Better Life. It's unlike any other self-empowerment book because it's funny. It's funny. And it's not a bunch of woo-woo. Everything I say is backed by science. Available on Amazon, 3 formats: paperback, Kindle, audiobook. I narrate the audiobook, and it's pretty funny. And I would be honored for you all to read it. I worked very, very hard on this, and a lot of time, effort, and money went into getting this book out into the world. It debuted back in August. And take a look at the reviews on Amazon. They really speak for themselves. They really do. And I just love what I do, and it shines through in the book. And this is real. This is real stuff, you all. Like, I told some stories, and I had to be very vulnerable to tell those stories. I had to revisit a lot of painful situations from my past. And I did it all to let you know that you're not alone. You're not alone. All of us encounter the devil at one point or another. All of us have trauma. It doesn't matter how you were raised, who you are, what you look like, where you're from, what color you are, period. Everybody has trauma. And this book is about switching it, making the shift, choosing better, getting better, turning it all around. And by the time you're done with the practices in this book, the people who have treated you poorly, they'll wish they freaking hadn't done that. Okay? All right. I get fired up talking about this. Okay, so for those of you who are just hopping on, or you caught the tail end of this and you want to see the whole thing, I would love for you to watch the whole thing. As soon as TikTok makes this video available, like it has to be available for download in the live center, I download it, put it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube is at Paula Swope. A lot of people in the room today are saying that the link in my link tree to my YouTube is broken, so I'm going to check that out as soon as we hop off and fix it. I don't know what's going on. So I will have this up on my YouTube. I don't know if it'll be, I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but it will be up. And please visit my website, paulaswope.com. Tons of resources there for you. Tons of videos on here. Tons of videos on Instagram. Check out my podcast, the Thought Snob podcast. I released an episode yesterday that's all about how to activate your vagus nerve. And it was from a TikTok live that I did 2 or 3 weeks ago. Sometimes I have a guest on my podcast. Usually I have a guest. And then sometimes I'll air these TikTok lives if they're really good on my podcast. And but these always go on my YouTube. And the ones I've done in the past are there on my YouTube channel as well. Okay? All right, everybody. It was so good to do this today. I hope it was helpful. And I appreciate you being here. And I'll be back here live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this next Wednesday, right here on TikTok. And I have no idea what my topic is going to be. If you have any suggestions or you have something you want me to talk about specifically, just let me know. You can message me. You can email me at paula@paulaswope.com. I'm easy to find. I'm freaking everywhere. And I want you to be everywhere with me. And thank you. Hey, I'm happy to share. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. So you are very welcome. All right. I will see you all soon. Make it a great day.